Why is protein everywhere? Just the other day, I saw that Mr. Beast released his own protein-fortified chocolate milk, and one serving has 23 grams of protein. For context, regular old whole milk, which is famously protein-rich, has roughly 15 grams for the same serving size. That means that in terms of protein, the milk of the beast has about 50% more than the milk of a cow without a YouTube collab. But is all that protein necessary? Or even healthy? Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, the channel where it's my way or the highway. God, I'm really never gonna beat the Unk allegations like this, am I? Quoting Limp Bizkit. Guess I'll just keep rolling. Anyway, there's no arguing that protein is an incredibly important nutrient, especially for those looking to get swole. But recently, you may have noticed that protein-enriched foods have broken out of the health and fitness aisle and are taking over the whole grocery store by force. Cereal, popcorn, ice cream, water! And it's not just the grocery store. Starbucks just added protein lattes and cold foam to its menu. Yep, PSLs are yesteryear's drink. In 2025, we're all about the BBLs and PPSLs. So what gives? Clearly, if the Bucks and the Beast are adding protein to their portfolios, there's a food trend going on here. And when there's a food trend, there's a me. And today, I'm gonna find out how protein actually sizes up. Make no mistake, protein is vital to our health. It's what nutritionists call a macronutrient. That macro means we need a lot of it to keep our bodies healthy and running. Just to put into perspective how essential protein is, there are only two other types of macronutrients, carbohydrates and fats. Where carbs and fats provide us with energy, protein is literally what we're made of. Every cell in the human body contains protein. Your skin, your bones, your heart, all of it. This means that if any of our cells get damaged or we need to build new ones, we need to have fresh sources of protein to keep our bodies maintained. Without proteins, we'd unravel faster than Mr. Fantastic in that Doctor Strange movie. The rejuvenating magic of protein comes from its building blocks, amino acids. In total, there are 20 common amino acids that our bodies need to function, and 9 of those are what are called essential amino acids. What makes them essential? Well, the human body can actually make most amino acids on its own, but these 9 essential amino acids can only be acquired through your diet. Technically, these essential amino acids are what the liver uses to synthesize the other 11 non-essential amino acids. So yeah, pretty important. Not all sources of protein are equal, mind you, as some might be missing certain essential amino acids. These are called incomplete proteins, whereas complete proteins like meat, eggs, and dairy products like whey contain all 9 essential amino acids in one place. It makes sense, right? Animals need the same amino acids to survive that we do, so they make for a convenient source for the complete set. But contrary to popular carnivore belief, my vegan and vegetarian homies like Amy have plenty of options for complete proteins, such as tofu, edamame, quinoa, and buckwheat. And it's not like incomplete proteins are bad for you. They just don't have all 9 essential amino acids in one place, meaning you just need to have enough variety in your diet. And variety really is the spice of life. That's why every game night I have, I try and switch it up. See, you don't know this about me, but I'm a big game night person. Claudia and I are always looking for a new game to play, because my friends refuse to play me at the usual suspects, mostly because I win. And fine, because one time I lost and allegedly threw a pillow at someone's head. Yeah, okay, 2 pillows. Okay, I flipped the table and intentionally oversalted everyone else's dinner. But now, I finally found the game to end all games. My game. Well, our game, technically. That's right, we've got our very own board game. What better way to dominate game night than to beat those my dear friends, at my very own game? Pick a card with a prompt from game, film, food, or style, and come up with the wackiest and funniest answers you can. Or get a GT Live card and get ready for the game to get turned on its head. Collect a piece from every channel and you win. We've been playing it around the office non-stop, even when we're supposed to be working. Well, especially when we're supposed to be working. But we just can't help ourselves. If you want to find out for yourself and be the star of your next game night with friends, check it out at select Walmarts or online at walmart.com. And you know us, there's a secret or two in there just for you. So if you're a theorist or a game night enthusiast, this is clearly for you. Speaking of clear, pretty clear why protein is important, but you may be familiar with hearing protein around things like the gym and lifting and getting gains. So where is the connection between protein and pumping iron? You see, when we work out, we make little tears in our muscles that need to be healed. So our body sends in the amino acids to repair the damage. This cycle of tearing and repairing training leads to our muscles getting stronger and bigger. So for people looking to buff up, having extra protein in your diet is helpful and necessary to fuel this process, making sure your muscles have all the resources they need to optimize the job. And this is where the huge serving sizes of protein come in. As you work out more and more, in theory, you need more and more protein to maintain and grow. Without enough, your body has to find the amino acids in the next best place, your muscles. Yeah, not enough protein means your muscles are target number one for energy. You might actually lose muscle mass. But when exactly did everyone start going pro-protein? Why have these protein snacks and drinks skyrocketed so much in popularity lately? The high protein diet craze is the latest in a long line of fad diets, aka dietary patterns that are only popular for a short amount of time, and usually aren't backed by any standard dietary recommendations. If you're wondering whether the diet you're on is a fad diet or not, there's some easy ways to tell the difference. Fad diets often claim that they'll help you lose a significant amount of weight very quickly, and aren't always based in scientific research. Instead, celebrities, influencers, and health gurus are the spokespeople for these meal plans. Most medical professionals agree that the healthiest way to feed your body is to eat a balanced diet with a variety of different food groups. But fad diets usually glorify one food group for its specific nutritional benefits. They can also vilify or instruct you to restrict or eliminate certain nutrients, like going no carb or full fruitarian. And their meal plans usually have strict instructions for when to eat, what to eat, and how much. To be clear, not all high protein diets fall under the fad diet category. If you're still eating a balanced diet otherwise, adding an extra dose of protein isn't the same as a fully fledged fad diet. But for those who are primarily chowing down on protein, heralding it as the miracle nutrient and restricting other food groups, congratulations, you are a part of the latest dieting trend. Fad diets aren't necessarily always a bad thing, and there's nothing wrong with safely trying out a new way of eating. It's the way you choose to follow these recommendations that's important for your overall health. Fad diets might seem like a newfangled notion, but they actually date back all the way to 1830, when Sylvester Graham, a Presbyterian minister, began preaching about the dangers of eating processed flour. You're probably familiar with his most famous product, the graham cracker, which was invented by Graham as a combination weight loss tool and lust suppressor. That's right, Graham's special flour-based products weren't only intended to regulate your gut. He actually believed that his wheat germ crackers would stop you from feeling sexually aroused. What? And believe it or not, the first person to advocate for cutting carbs did so in 1863. William Banting, an undertaker, wrote a book about how reducing the amount of carbohydrates in his diet allowed him to lose a significant amount of weight. His dietary recommendation became so popular that folks started using his last name as a verb. As in, sorry Timmy, I can't have any of your birthday cake, I'm Banting right now. Every few decades or so, a new diet frenzy would emerge, each with vastly different rules than the one before. In the 1920s, Harvey Kellogg prescribed an all-grape diet, additionally instructing his followers to consume Bulgarian yogurt at both ends, because nothing says beach bod like a yogurt enema in the morning. Subsequent decades saw the grapefruit diet, the cabbage soup diet, which allowed you to eat as much cabbage soup as your body could handle, and the macrobiotic diet, which was based on a Japanese diet of soy, brown rice, and veggies. Weight Watchers, the Atkins diet, the Beverly Hills diet, the Zone diet, the South Beach diet, paleo, keto, and the Mediterranean diet have all become household names in the US over the years, often spreading to other countries as well. But although each of those diets are vastly different from one another and span over 150 years of history, there's one thing that they all have in common. Not a single one of those diets have ever disparaged eating protein. In fact, German physiologist Dr. Karl von Voigt set forth the Voigt standard in 1877, recommending that folks eat 118 grams of protein per day. Around the same time, German chemist Justus von Liebig was studying protein as one of the world's first experts in macronutrients and regarded it as the one true nutrient above all. In the 1890s, the USDA started recommending that adult working men eat upward of 110 grams of protein a day, based on the idea that protein was a source of energy for muscles. Protein saw a resurgence in popularity again in the 50s and 60s with the now debunked theory of the world protein gap, which claimed that protein deficiency was the primary cause of infant death and childhood disability in third world countries. Protein receded from the spotlight between the 70s and 90s when low-calorie diets rose in popularity, as health-conscious conscious people were more focused on counting calories than examining the nutrients in their food. But it rose to prominence again in the early 2000s with the low-carb, high-protein Atkins diet, and maintained its good name through the carnivore, keto, and paleo diet eras. Unlike carbs, gluten, sugar, fat, calories, and other problematic nutrients in diet culture, protein has maintained a stellar reputation. It's also been repeatedly recommended by influencers and public health officials alike, allowing dieters to trust that this is the one ingredient guaranteed throughout history to help them achieve a svelte figure. Because of its longevity and popularity and science-backed nutritional benefits, a high-protein diet doesn't always qualify as a fad diet. What qualifies some fad diets among the current resurgence of protein popularity are the quantities that people are encouraged to consume, especially when their suggested protein dosages are recommended by celebrity fitness influencers like Joe Rogan or Khloe Kardashian, or on YouTube by Will Tennyson, Jeff Nippert, or Dr. Mike Israetel. For example, Joe Rogan says that he eats a diet of primarily meat with limited carbs and vegetables. Sugar and unnecessary carbs are out of the question, but wild game, grass-fed steak, bacon, eggs, butter, and green veggies are all okay by Joe. He claims to have lost 12 pounds in 30 days with this approach, and estimated that he could be getting up to 300 grams of protein per day eating this way. And when top influencers with hundreds of thousands or even millions of subscribers on YouTube are all recommended that you up your protein intake by a staggering amount, it's no wonder that grocery store shelves are stocked with protein-enriched products. The word protein has become nearly synonymous with strength, lean muscle, and controlled weight in today's fitness circles. And that is why this nutrient is the king of the grocery store, the coffee shop, and salad bar near you. Protein itself might have a stellar reputation, but dieting does not. I'm sure I'm not alone when I say that dieting isn't always a fun time. And personally, I'm not a big fan of diets at all. They're not always the most sustainable options. Often they're extreme and lead people to actually go back and double down on unhealthy habits. But incorporating protein into snacks allows folks who might not be as hardcore as Dr. Mike is about cutting out unnecessary carbs and sugars to add some protein to their favorite snacks. In an interview, Khloe Kardashian explained that she created her line of Cloud protein popcorn so that she wouldn't have to give up her love of snacking in order to meet her daily protein intake goals. Drinking your favorite Starbucks vanilla latte with added protein foam or chowing down on protein-enriched mac and cheese makes you feel like you're being healthy and indulging at the same time. And that's not all. Eating protein can make you feel fuller faster, giving you that satisfied, satiated feeling earlier on in your snack or meal. Carbs and fat can also make you feel full, but they can also make you feel lethargic in larger quantities. Most people are able to achieve their daily protein intake goal through a normal, balanced diet, including meats, beans, dairy, and grains, and don't actually need to increase their levels very much. If you're working out a lot, then yeah, you'll want to increase a little more than a couch potato would in order to experience the muscle repair benefits post-workout. But other than that, protein should really only make up about 10 to 35% of your daily caloric consumption. In fact, if you're adding in a bunch of protein-laden snacks into your diet, you might be getting more than you actually need to without the added benefits of the food's other potential nutritional qualities. And if you're not actively training, all that extra protein isn't going to magically turn you into 80s era Arnold Schwarzenegger. All those extra protein snacks and protein-heavy meals might actually cause you to gain unwanted weight due to eating extra calories. And you're going to want to check the label before you buy any of these miracle protein products. On the front, they love to advertise how much protein is in each serving. But even if they're high in protein, they might also be highly processed and filled with sodium, sugar, or saturated fats. The Cheerios we showed off at the beginning of the episode may have protein, but they also have 11 grams of added sugar. Mr. Beast's chocolate milk has 41 grams of sugar, 21 of which is added sugar, meaning not the sugar that is naturally occurring in the food you eat, but is instead added by syrups and things like that. It's typically the type you really want to avoid. So while a 14-ounce bottle has a whopping 23 grams of protein, you're also taking in half of the sugar you should get daily with it. You also want to check in with your doctor before committing to a high-protein diet, since some pre-existing conditions might see exacerbated kidney strain from increased protein. Even if you're perfectly healthy to begin with, too much protein can cause kidney stones. And if you tend to favor red meat like I do, going overboard with it might put you at greater risk of heart disease and colon cancer. Plus, if you're jumping on the protein bandwagon and buying up all these specialized snacks, it's gonna affect your bank account. Forget about buff bullies taking your lunch money. Your lunch is getting buffer and taking your money itself. Added protein doesn't come cheap. For example, a 16-ounce box of Barulla's penne pasta is $1.99 at the grocery store, but that same box of the same brand with added protein is a whopping $3.99, a 100% price increase. Oh, and the protein pasta is actually giving you 2 ounces less less per box. It's kind of similar to the pink tax, aka the phenomenon where brands will take a unisex product, paint it pink, and jack up the price just to charge women extra. If your snack or beverage has the magic word protein somewhere on the box in big letters, you can rake in extra profits from dedicated dieters. Right now, protein is being marketed everywhere in order to sell the dream of health, fitness, functionality, and in male-centered spaces, even masculinity. But the truth is that most people do not need as much protein as they're being led to believe they do. Real, whole foods are going to provide you with plenty of protein, as well as other valuable nutrients that come with a balanced diet. You don't need an avalanche of wild meat or protein water or Kardashian popcorn to stay healthy. The reality is, most people's lifestyles don't require everything that slips past your teeth to have protein. Athletes, people who rigorously work out 5-6 days a week, or people who are constantly and consistently doing hard physical labor, sure, protein intake might be a bit more important. But for the average everyday person, listen, protein is absolutely essential, and you do need to eat enough each day to maintain yourself. But that is a lot easier than you're being led to believe. And don't let these marketing manipulators convince you that eating a bag of protein chips is the pinnacle of health, especially when the only things really getting gains are the price tags. But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory. Buen provecho. And hey, it's fall. Have you wondered why PSLs are everywhere? Make sure to click the link on screen now. And as always, I'll see you next week.